So, if you don't know, this is Asher. This is Dawn of the Mexica. There you go. Yeah. Oh man. This is a roguelike that is really, really freaking hard. And I've enjoyed it so far. If you don't know who the Mexica people are, it's the Aztecs. This is an alternate history game following Aztec culture, and I'm a sucker for any Mesoamerican culture, society stuff here. Nightbot's like, what the hell is that? I love it. You can see I've died a lot. I've managed to get a few runs that have gotten some traction, but this is a game, and we're gonna play it right now. I do want to play this some more. This is going to be kind of an introductory stream, but I'm not going to be so introductory that I go over everything. That's a little bit crazy here. You can see I've gotten some unlocks, some non-unlocks. I'm going to try to do maybe 2 runs here. We'll see how that goes because I'm kind of feeling dumb here. Anyway, we'll start with something basic. There's a warrior. There's a bunch of other classes. Healer's terrible, and I have no idea what to do with it. I need a pronunciation guide for Tekehulake. That's probably not it at all. That's a earth wizard kind of thing that also controls the weather. Firefly is a I'll do that one a little bit later today, or a little bit later in here. Is a fire and light, and warriors just straight up go over and beat up stuff. So, what's a good name? Akelin's a good name. What happened to the screen? Oh, that's the game trying to freak you out, because we'll go into the story right about now. I have good strength, good constitution. My quickness is fine. My charisma is terrible. All these stats do mean stuff here. So let's go ahead and hit space to start, and we immediately level up. And I'm a little annoyed because there's a great level up sound, but I need to actually adjust my settings because I turned the sound all the way down. And yet turning the sound all the way down does not stop the screen flash. Okay. I'm going to play with one-handed blades for this go-around, but that might end up changing. So we definitely need first aid, even though my skill on it sucks. We definitely need light armor, and you can do all the stuff with the mouse as well. But typical rogue-like fashion, I really wanted to learn the keyboard commands. Berserk, I actually haven't used Berserk yet. That unlocks a class. Physical resilience sounds about like what you think it would. You can even get odd hand or offhand stuff. Tactics is obscurely named, but that does increase your damage. And yeah, why not? These skill points will carry over. But saving, here's the world. There is a zoom function if we want to zoom out, but I don't really want to. So let's turn on the music. Let's turn on the ambient noise. Let's turn on the sound effects. So, Dawn of the Mexica, which is a turn-based rogue-like. As you can tell, there's multiple directions to turn to. We have our story here. Our world is in the fifth era of the cycle of creation and destruction. We believe the gods would let us survive this time if we made the appropriate sacrifices. We are the people of the sun, and it is our duty to nourish the sun god through blood, because, Aztecs. However, the world has changed. Hitzipotcholitl. God, I meant to look up how to pronounce that. The sun god didn't rise this morning. Wild animals are restless and attack those who come near. Some even say the terrible Mimi has been spotted. Kahadol, the tribe shaman, has chosen you to travel north and find the entrance to Mictlan, the underworld, where the sun god always spends his night. There you can find your answer. So I now see it's a Zola de Shankotl. I'm terrible at pronouncing this on a normal day, much less when I'm streaming this late. But what we can do, first thing is first, is interact with it by pushing E, pushing to the right on the thing there, and we pet our dog. So that is our dog companion. Let's go around here. Yeah, the aesthetic for like the menu is obviously inspired by Mesoamerican art. We are equipping our very big sword, which you're probably familiar with that. It's a one-handed sword, short wooden club with sharp-edged obsidian attached to it. And we have a lot of other things that we start off with, some of which I'll be going over now, some I'll be going over later. Spears and spear throwing is actually a pretty good way to do range stuff. But one thing that people don't realize about this game is that you can do a lot of stuff by mouse. I'll go ahead and go over something else real quick. There is a help menu here. If you ever want to know what the skills mean, it's all here. Like, for instance, tactics. This is a combat skill that abstracts your combat ability beyond basic weapon usage. Is passive skill that gives you a boost to your melee attacks. The creator of this is a native Spanish speaker from Mexico. His English is great, but there's going to be a few pronunciation things that are a little bit different, or like some diction things that are a little bit different, if you're, which makes sense if you're a non-native speaker. But spells fire and light, so we have all the summaries of what those spells mean. Earth and weather mastery, healing and blessings, and cold and shape, which I have not unlocked the class that uses that yet, but everything's here. Anyway, here's our shaman. You see we have a temperature gauge on the top left. It is 48 degrees Celsius in here, so he likes it hot. It's 54 degrees Celsius, and the shaman is here. We can interact with him, and he says, may Tateo and Men protect you. That's nice. If I'm injured, he will slap me with his little herbs there and make me feel better. So here's the town. They have turkeys. We can let the turkeys out. We could technically kill the turkeys, but we're not a monster. There are people sleeping right now. Someone reminded me that there's other roguelikes that do this, specifically, gosh, not Cogmind, because Cogmind wouldn't do this. But sometimes the town people like start off as zombies and stuff, so gotta look out for that. It can be a nice surprise when you're going in here and doing the usual looting everybody's pots and pans, and nobody attacks you. There's like the male villager says, may the sun god rise again, because if we, and I've seen other people playing and streaming have problems with this, if we extinguish our torch, guess what happens? The sun didn't come up, so everything's dark. We can wander around, we can see some ambient light, but we need our torch. We won't always need our torch. There's other ways we can get around that in a bit, but that's literally the story of the game. There's our buddy. Your friend Villager says, you want to see what this is about? Let's go together. So if you will come back here, she will, or he will come help me. But also gives me an item. Take this ring. It'll help you. I have gotten cursed items from the pots and stuff in the start before, and cursed items, as you might imagine, if you've played NetHack or anything, you can't take them off. But fortunately, this jade ring is not cursed. It's never cursed. It's from your friend. Gives you a positive bonus to luck when you equip it. You immediately identify it. It's luck up. Luck is a very important attribute here, which I think we press tab to look at our attributes. My luck's not as high as I'd like it. We also have no resistance to anything, and enemies have the same stats. So, bone armor. I think I'm wearing bone armor. Cotton armor. Keep you warm even if the temperature is below freezing, versus bone armor, which is appropriate to wear in the summer. We're going to switch to bone armor for now. Technically, some of this cloth stuff I can tear apart and turn into bandages. But like, there's little kids and stuff in this town too. It's pretty bad if like things attack, and they will attack. We want that torch. We want that scroll. We want that blouse for the exact reason that I just said. Now we can also do this by, if I press the right thing, press capital C. There is a T button to tear apart if you want to do that. Like, we can push just capital B, we can examine it. You fail trying to identify that scroll. If you've played NetHack, you're very familiar with, like, here's this white liquid, we don't know what it is. This lilac liquid, we don't know what it is. This scroll with gibberish on it, it's probably an identified scroll, but maybe it's not. We don't know. So, we're going to be spending a lot of time in town. Maybe, oh, that's a fire in the middle of the area. We haven't seen that before. Stone axe. We'll take the dress as well, because we're going to tear that and make more bandages. Shield. Shield is good. You can't use a shield and a torch and a sword at the same time, but we'll figure that out. I love that effect. That's the sound effect for you're trying to loot something and it's not there. So what should we do if the sun never rises? Probably panic. But yeah, once again, right click. We can wear it. We can drop it. We're already wearing cotton pants, so that's good. Too bad I can't tear up that armor like I thought I could. And this is a game where it does autosave. When you die, it autosaves. If you try to restart in the middle of a save, it will just overwrite your save. But we can tear this, so that's more bandages. 24 bandages, pretty good. There's no auto sort button, which is a little annoying, but it's a roguelike. We don't play this because it's convenient. Maybe there's other roguelikes out there that are convenient. Ooh, another torch. Get that. Drop those hot beets. Herb plaster is very good. I did not realize what that was the first time I played, because I didn't read the freaking tooltip, but this game has a pretty robust injury system, and herb plaster will let you heal your injuries. So that's fun. Okay, that's a tiny house. So I think we're done. Who's ready to go out into the wild and explore and maybe kill things? There's a snake. You can press X to examine the snake. It is a Quiquicotl. That's probably not how you pronounce it. I hate that I don't know some of these things, but I'll be happy to look it up later. We can even no, that's inventory. We can even size up the enemy. Like, we have different options down here that we can click. We can go berserk, we can melee attack, we can search, we can kick, we can guard, we can scream at our friends to not attack it. I kind of want to go berserk, but we can't do that right here, so. Oh, I went berserk. You fail at trying to become berserk. The puppy bites it for 14 damage, and it's stunned, which is what those little arrows mean on top, so I don't get experience for puppy killing it. So press A to attack, direction, and it's dead. We see a corpse. Some corpses you can actually chop up, and we find nothing useful because it's a snake. We got some little deer up there. We can't get through the trees because trees are magic. Oh boy. Got actually hit from the side here by another snake, so that's a lot of damage. So once again, you have things like, you see now our friend from the village. Pay attention to the writing down here, because some of these attacks are very funny, but we gave it a brutal low cut. But yeah, the ambient sounds here are actually really well sampled, considering I think this game was entirely made by one person. So I'm impressed with the sound design. It definitely builds a tension in a game that didn't already need tension. But if we look up here, we have a friendly little Tolosolotl and we're just going to call it a raccoon because it's a raccoon. Okay, now one of the things about roguelikes, as you maybe know, as you maybe don't know, is that you don't want to get yourself surrounded. Now we have Puppy over here who's already trying to murder things, because if I don't tell him to back off, he's just going to wander off and go crazy, and I've already lost my friend, and I'm here by myself. It's all scary. But we can sit here and wait as long as we want to. Like you can see here, my stamina's gone down since I've walked around. Every turn, nothing happens unless I do it. But once I attack here, doggy barked. This guy's bleeding. I have to drink some water here. But the other thing woke up. And this is a way you can get yourself in trouble, because you really want to be able to make sure that you always have a path that you can back up on. Now there's two options here. One is that I can use the kick command to actually kick this guy back, but I don't want to. I want to see if I can kill him. Let's see if I can go berserk here. You fail at trying to become berserk again. So Puppy killed somebody. Oh, see, look, but that's what happens. These enemies can move just as diagonal as I can. So I have now been caught out of position, and I have failed at my attack. So I'm going to try to move down here and try to get them one at a time. Look, my friend's back. So see, we can always try to help fighting. My experience bar is raising up pretty fast. I can't see my friend being attacked, but we can kick this guy out of the way. There we go. Kicking is incredibly powerful, and I would really like to hit and get you here. Like we have guard, kick, search, melee attack, berserk, or interact. Can I berserk now? Apparently not. I am a failure at becoming berserk. Makes me a little sad. But we get a stake, which you do have to press comma to grab a stake. Looks like we have some random ass pillars on the floor. You see 3 bandages, so those aren't pillars. It's really nice. So one thing that you can also do that should be fairly obvious is that we can use these bandages on another person. This is how you unlock the healer class. So I can heal, and strangely, using the healer class to heal my companions has not proved to be a very successful method for running. are running this game. But there we go. We got more bandages up here. So it's raining bandages. Hallelujah. Okay, we got a bow. I'll take the bow. It's not necessarily enchanted. And you can see the temperature's going. It's partly cloudy outside. There's no wind. Wind is actually very important because in this game, especially in the early area where it's mostly nature enemies, animals that you're fighting, they can smell you. So the wind direction really is really a big deal. So press spacebar to wait. My stamina is slowly recovering. So now you're here. Slappity slap. A fast moderate slash makes the snaky snake waver. We miss him. And you hack it from right to left and it's dead. Cool. So, see those things down there? Actually very important. Swimming damages you and we're kind of drowning right now, but these things are important enough to get. We get a blue lily. Get a purple lily. My friend just went around like a smart person. But what we can do now, let's go ahead and unwield this. Let's go ahead and unwield this. We're going to get our two-hander out. A hungry wood. A long machalutl sword. Is a wooden club with a sharp-edged obsidian blades attached to it. Like I said, if you've never seen what one of these Mesoamerican weapons look like, and you're like, it's just a wood stick with obsidian on it, oh shit, no, those are intimidating as hell. But what we're going to do here is eat this blue lily, and we are suddenly emitting magical light. So one thing we've got to do here, as you can see the map is roaming around, is that we have got to try to find a few more lakes. Because this does not last forever, and I'd really like to smack something with my beat stick. Let's see, we're still making light. It does last a little while, but you see it's getting weaker over time. Your friend from the village trips and needs to regain balance, because we have a snake. And we just hit the snake for 33 damage, because as you can imagine, these things work here, but we're tired. We're low on stamina because walking costs stamina. There's another lily. You don't want to drown. So we're actually going to wait here for a minute. And waiting long enough does heal you, so... Okay. Ooh, shit. Got critical drowning damage. And we're actually cold now. We're cold and we're even wetter than we were before. We're drenched. So, that was a long swim just for some magical light. Sometimes the game kind of works out and is like, yeah, you can have this stuff. I can actually push the 5 key to rest, which means I totally wasted that one lily I just ate. I should have rested in the dark. Okay, so that snake's asleep, and because I don't have a torch, I'm less likely to wake it up. I'm just going to try to kill it in its sleep, and there we go. You solidly strike a Kikadal. Oh god, I'm still sad that I don't know how some of this pronunciation works, and that's something I'll be happy to learn because I'm happy to stick around with this game because it is it's real for some. It's not the first roguelite I've played, but there's just something about it, and maybe it's you see a corpse of something here, wooden spear and a skeleton. I don't know. The quality that really makes me interested with this game is kind of the mystery of nobody's playing it, nobody's played it, so there's not really a lot of information out about it. Okay, we're gonna attack our friendly deer neighbor. Oh shit, that was a bad move. I love this. I love this about roguelikes. So I just pissed off the deer. There's nobody else around me, and look who decided to join in. We have a CC Mini, which is another way to say skeleton people. These are bad. I am currently in a very bad situation. I also have, just for good measure, another little wolfy boy over here coming to get me. So, run away. And look at that. I ran right into my enemies here. So we're going to try to get into an area where I can funnel them one at a time. Okay, we got deer first. We've got a whole line of enemies here. So that one's down. A blow cuts deeply into the Matzel's right upper hind leg. Nice. Now see, this is a problem. You see how things were going so well? And then I fight somebody that's actually wielding a weapon? One of the things that really gets difficult in this game is that critical hits and shit like that happen. And he says he hits me with an obsidian dagger. Your cotton pants break. He actually attacked me multiple times. A barbarous strike severs your right leg. So my right leg is destroyed. My right knee is destroyed. My right foot is destroyed. I'm bleeding. I'm knocked out. Gotta look at that closely. It's either 6.8 turns or 0.8 turns. Pretty sure that's 6.8. And I'm walking slowly. So, we're dead. We're actually dead from a regular enemy on the first level just because I got hit really hard. My leg. Yeah, pretty much. So, let's just end the inevitable here. So, I'm knocked out for 5.8 turns. I'm probably going to bleed out here. Yep, see, because he just keeps getting to attack me. Actually, it's great. He attacks me and fails. Where's my friend? Where's my puppy? Oh, look, even a raccoon behind me is like, F you, you. This is what I get for attacking nature here, so you die. And if you're familiar with roguelikes, you know that sometimes that is just how shit goes. You just get a bad roll early, but I did that one to myself. Like, all I did was, I didn't even make it to level 2, which is bad even for me, at least with the warrior. You can see some of these other warrior runs, I was just learning the game. But yeah, it's one of these things where this is a game where it's also fascinating because when you get momentum, you can really feel the momentum. But we're going to do a Firefly here. Pactly, that's fine. Intelligence is good. Constitution's okay. Quickness we really need. That's a good enough roll. Like it gives you your main stats here, which intelligence, luck, and quickness are all very important. So let's do that. There's the sound. All right. So we're playing as a spellcaster this time. The thing about being a spellcaster is that you have a spellcasting ability which affects your ability to successfully or unsuccessfully cast spells, because you know it's going to be awkward if you fail casting a spell. And then you have 2 schools of magic. I'm going to focus on light mastery because it has a little more range than fire mastery. We're going to get meditation because meditation is very important in spellcasting. Mental resilience doesn't matter very much because I'm not going to be getting attacked by magic spells, or I shouldn't be very much. Artifacts will take 1 level in. Perception, evaluate creature, probably identify liquids important. You notice I don't have nearly as many skills here, and like I have a -4 bonus because I have no level to first aid, so we really need to get that. I have a -5 for swimming because I have no swimming skill. We really need that. And see, those take a little bit more to go through. Foraging doesn't matter quite as much, but we still have 7 skill points. So I probably want 1 in liquid identification. And probably 1 in reading. Okay. So that's fine. This is going to be a disaster. I love it. So, same story as before. We are just trying to wake up the sun god, and you can see I'm satiated. So I've at least had a good meal before I die. So pet the puppy, say hey to the shaman. It's still hot out. We start with no weapon. We just start with a torch. We're wearing something. A tomatli dress, a loincloth, and that's it. So nothing bad could possibly happen. Since this is a roguelike, the layout changes. So that doesn't change. We're always going to get a jade ring from our companion. That jade ring is always going to increase luck. Sometimes increases luck by a lot. I haven't gotten very lucky with that today. Alright. Now the other thing that's really nice about this class is that we can actually unwield the torch. Because, and there's whole keys down here that I can do it with, so I'm going to do it like this. You can cast, and then light mastery, and we can cast invoke light. There's a 6% chance of failing, but now we have a magical light effect, which is pretty cool. And I will just, since we're already here, There's even ability to invoke darkness, which would have been really useful in that last run where I died at, because it literally turns out the lights. It overrides invoke light because you're literally emitting darkness. And then you just run the hell away. Or try to. But it's the same thing here. Be careful with the bite of the snake. They're quite slow, though. So, yeah. The most successful run I had with this class actually was the run where I discovered, oh, wait, people can start off as an undead horde trying to kill me. But that also let me get a bunch of levels, even though they ran like rampant through the town and killed almost everybody. Roguelikes. Let's see. We are going to have to babysit this a little bit more, invoke light. But this lets us save our torch for other things. So turkeys, I'm not going to slaughter the turkeys because that just sounds like I'm inviting bad luck. You aren't tired enough to sleep. Oh, okay, so there's actually a bed that I can sleep at here. You can tell I haven't gotten far because eventually in this game, at least from what I've heard from the developer, you do get to say, may the sun god rise again, is what they say there. That person's asleep, and I just woke up to say this darkness has gone on for too long. Well, you were sleeping, so I guess you don't care very much. See, like, I can get a sword here. It may be cursed, I don't know. Usually when you pick up items, it'll have a like little star indicator if it's worthwhile or anything, but we're going to invoke light again. I think as I level up, I will have better effect with that spell. I was kind of hoping I get some more equipment or maybe another ring. I guess I can always get that stuff. Mushrooms are good. You unlock one of the classes by literally tripping on mushrooms. And enemies, you get transported to this other area and enemies will actually kill you. But these are hallucinogenic mushrooms. We're gonna not eat them right now because I'm running around in my loincloth with my magical little sparkle light. And it's out again. We can meditate before casting that spell. But it's very important that I watch my mana because right now my mana is low. And I'm actually a little cold because it's 15 degrees, which is technically cold in this part of Mexico. So we're not going to attack the little deer that are passive and would never hurt us. That's clearly what summoned the undead on me. Okay, so I'm a spellcaster. I have no notable armor, but I have Feet of Fury. And who kicks a raccoon? I kick a raccoon. So, Light Mastery, Electrical Zap. You're going to get used to this because I'm doing it a lot. You can do this with the mouse. You can target with the mouse if you want to. Or you can use the hotkeys. I like the hotkeys because we're doing this a lot, but my spell failed. Now there is a little marker over this guy. So I think I did actually like affect him or stun him briefly. So what I'm going to do this time is try to meditate or T. This will let my mind calm down. It means I'm less likely to fail in casting my spell. And we're going to do it again. 45 damage. The left hind leg is electrocuted and he falls down. So that's how you get rid of your raccoon problem. And we get a steak. We eat raw steak here. So swimming is fun when my life pool is a lot lower. But we don't have, now that we have a lily, we can just eat that, not worry so much about like dying or drowning. And look, I've already lost my companions. Let me try shouting real quick. Scream like a madman, follow me. So that will also attract the animals if there's any animals nearby. It'll attract the undead if there's any undead nearby. But clearly my buddy that was like, hey, let me follow you into town, he gave me a lucky ring and then just bailed. You can shout at them to stay home. That's apparently what the developer decided to do on his stream before he unceremoniously died. But one reason, since we do have an enemy up there, it's maybe hard to see on stream, but we do have that right there. One reason that I do kind of prefer the light magic is because Fire Mastery, Flame Zap, which has a 9% fail rate. I don't know, maybe I can't hit you. Well, there we go. Receive a Savage Burn to the side. Usually, at least from my experience, we don't have as much range, but one thing I gotta do here is watch my mana, watch my stamina. My stamina's low. You do not want to be out of stamina if you can avoid it, which I guess is true in life. But in these kind of games, I tend to prefer playing a caster. Doesn't mean I'm any better at it, but we do have another lily we can eat. I do feel some people's annoyance about having to go into your menu all the time instead of like being able to hotkey stuff, but there we go. So let's lightning zap you. What? Electric zap on you, please. What? Okay, we're gonna meditate because this guy is not actually a threat to me. There we go. Electricity, smoke, burns, so we're cooking him and now he's dead. Okay. And we see a corpse here. There's nothing I can take because I gotta chop him up. Now, one thing I gotta look out for is that I don't have a lot of mana right now. Here's another torch, so we're gonna just wait a minute because I can always cast a spell to produce light again. So I saw something. Oh, there you are. I want to get into a position where I can kick you. Like if I try to cast a spell right now, fire zap won't hit because you're around a corner. Maybe project light will help. It won't. Alright, so we let you get here. We kick you down here. I just want to see what project light does. Like I'm pretty sure I can cast it on anybody. Like if I cast it on you, I stunned him. Cool. Okay, well, let's electrocute him. And if you keep the mouse right there on accident, okay, it's on fire now. Like you have little icons here. There's a stun icon, a fire icon. It's one of those things where the documentation isn't always there, and you can see sometimes you only do 1 damage. If you've been through the tutorial, you're very familiar with that phenomenon of spells only doing 1 damage. And a stun enemy cannot attack. So he's still burning. I should be able to kick him. And then watch him die. There we go. 5 damage. But yeah, this play style is a lot more methodical, and maybe that'll save me. Probably not. There we go. Who kicks a raccoon? Oh. This is why we want to kill these guys, is because they steal food. So here we go. Combat. And I get my mushrooms back. Well, you probably could have kept those. And we're out of those things, so we just need to make our own powerful lights. And you're gonna do this again, aren't you? Okay. You steal from me, I stun you. Okay, we're gonna meditate this time. Okay, wow, I am just whiffing on all the spells, and I'm whiffing on the kicks. Alright, so light. I currently have a 9% fail rate. If I meditate for a turn, it goes down to 2%. There we go. So the sparks stun him, and we just killed him. And we have... okay, that's another flower over here. So, good idea generally to wait for an enemy to come to you. Especially when I don't have a ton of mana. Okay. We're just going to try to run. Wow, there's so many lilies down there. Alright. God, there's 2. And I'm in the dark. Oh no. It's the skeletons again. Okay. And you can see that a lesser thing mishandles her weapon and loses her attack. I don't really have enough mana to do a lot where I really need to kick first. So I kick them to the west. Okay, I think I do have enough time to... The spell better not fail. There we go. Alright, I have 4 mana. I have a feeling these guys are weak to fire. Let's find out. Oh god! You become confused as the spell's words and fall down. You feel pain and heavy dizziness. I'm stunned for 5.2 turns. Well, like I said, this is what makes the game interesting, is that it will kill you all the time. Look at that. I'm at negative 83 health. This is the first area. I usually get through this. This is why I want to do this again, but it's just hilarious. Let's see what it says here. You become confused, so I tried to set it on fire, and I forgot what magic was, I guess. It hits you with an obsidian dagger. The barbarous strike severs your leg. You fall unconscious, so they just keep going for the legs. Your attack pierces a bleeding wound in your right forearm. So he sliced my leg, sliced my arm off. I'm bleeding, but I have a magical light. So he severed my arm and leg, and I'm at negative 83 health. I love it. So, Dawn of the Mexica. This is just a taste. There's a lot more than this. There's a lot of fun, interesting ways to die, and I do want to run this again and maybe get some more momentum, because this is maybe just kind of being, yeah, it's lovely. It's great to be this late at night and be like, here's your freaky shit on the screen. But yeah, this is Asher, and I'm going to call it a night here. Like I said, it's a quality B-roll. Really hope that displayed okay. I think it did. It'd be really weird if I had streamed on a blank screen the whole time and nobody told me. But yeah, this is it for tonight. So we'll do this again. But for those of you who have heard me talk about this game and hadn't quite seen it, it's available on Steam. It released last year to very little fanfare. But there's a lot of people that are like, this looks interesting. It's just intimidating to learn. And it is intimidating as hell. But I like the challenge, and for some reason I like the challenge here compared to other games where I'm like, maybe not. But that's it for now. Thanks for watching, Barrick. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for anybody else who came by or is watching this later on down the line. I'll stop the freaky noises now for you. So good night, sleep tight, have good dreams of skeletons severing you with like a dagger, and just it's a good time. Take care, everybody.